I'm Rana Al-Falaki.
I'm Bhavin Patel.
And welcome to
the Nail It podcast.
This is your place to lead better, live fully and laugh more. It's your blueprint to optimal performance. So welcome to our very first episode of Nail It, a podcast where you're here to lead better, live fully and laugh more. So we're certainly hoping to make you think, to make you process, to help you learn, help you question, and definitely laughter. I mean, how can you not laugh when you see and hear Bhavin? I mean, seriously.
I hope that's not at me, it's with me.
With you, of course. The forever comedian. What can I say?
I try. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is season 1, episode 1. So this is the pilot, essentially. So this is going to be great. And yeah, I think I'm excited to see how this goes.
So, Bhavin, who are you? Maybe let our listeners know a little bit about you.
Right. So I'm Bhavin. I'm a dentist. I'm a general dentist. I work and live in Essex, and I also work in central London. I graduated back in 2006. Born and bred in Leicester. Went to Queen Mary, Westfield, and Royal London. Graduated there 2006. Lived and worked around the East End since I've graduated. And yeah, I'm from a family of dentists. Both my sisters are dentists. My wife's a dentist. My brother-in-law's a dentist. So you can imagine how our conversations go at Christmas. There's one odd bod who's my brother-in-law, my eldest brother-in-law, who works in the city. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. I've worked in general practice. I've worked in a hospital. I've taught. I've got various hats. So yeah, I'm ready to share my knowledge and my experiences.
Well, and let's not forget you're also a member of the MedDent team, who of course MedDent is the dental medical specific form of Nail It, where we train professionals and dental professionals in optimal performance. So you yourself are a qualified coach and mentor as well.
I am with that hat on. Yeah, so I did the diploma in coaching, mentor, and education with your good self a year ago, and that's where I found myself and found my calling in life. And here I am on this podcast with you.
Yay! So who am I? See, I nearly fell asleep with that description, Bab.
Oh God, go on then. Who are you?
It's interesting you should ask, actually. I've just been thinking about that and thinking, how would I describe myself in 3 words? And I've been spending the whole day actually asking people to describe me in 3 words.
You didn't say 3 words. You didn't say 3 words.
I didn't.
I gave the whole CV spiel. I did.
I know, you gave me the whole CV. I said, who are you? Not what do you do? And isn't that something that dentists do all the time? Labels.
Yeah.
It's all labels thing. It's like, oh, I'm a dentist and I'm blah, 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 and I do this and I do that. As opposed to, I didn't ask that. I said, who are you? Who are you, Bav? Now I've put you on the spot.
Right. I am a human that lives in Essex. No. Do you know what? I'm gonna say I am a father.
Okay, that's still a label, but we'll work on you, I guess. In time. I'm going to ask you this every week
It's going to be a couple of seasons of this, I think. Yeah. Go on then. Give me a grade A answer then. Go on. What please?
I am effervescence. I am dynamism. I am power. I am passion. I am wisdom.
Wow, like a superhero.
Can't you see my cape? Come on now. Come on. So yes, I was given the name Rana Al-Falaki when I was born, and I've chosen to wear it. It has a beautiful meaning, actually. Arabic. It's an Arabic name, so born to Arab parents. And then the meaning of my name is actually it's something that's really eye-catching.
Right.
So I love that. And so like you live in Essex, but I was born in West London, so it really was a massive transition to make that across the border. Bit like you going from north to south. But since then, I'd never go back. It's a beautiful, 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 stunning part of the country. And like you, worked in pretty much every discipline of dentistry. So general practice, private practice, obviously specialist practice. So I've been a periodontist for 25 years now.
No.
Oh, sold, built up several award-winning practices and sold them on to really engage with my favorite passion now, which is all about personal development and personal growth. Having had my own journey of hardship, chronic illness, you could call it burnout, and eventually kind of saw my ways that being an amazing high achiever didn't necessarily make me happy, and I definitely wasn't happy. And I was certainly one of those typical statistics in dentistry who was unhappy deep down, divorced, had addictions, albeit I will just say not to alcohol or drugs at this point, but certainly an interesting relationship, shall we say, with food and also just addictive behaviors. So I would call myself really a wantaholic, to always addicted to needing the accolades, the letters after my name, the qualifications, wanting things because that's what fed me, that's what gave me dopamine release, that's what made me happy. And when I eventually got kicked in the teeth with one final wake up call of, how much more do you need to take in your life right now before you finally wake up and embrace who you truly are? I'm going to test you afterwards with what those words were, Bhavin. Then that was where Nail It was created, which is a blueprint to optimal performance. So to still being a really high performer, but without the burnout. So I call it really, how do you turn yourself into your own regenerative battery, that you're not then relying on external factors to make you live fully, laugh more, and lead better.
Yeah, I was going to get onto that actually. Obviously, that's what we're here to talk about. Is nail it. What is all this nailing it about?
What is all this nailing it about? So Nail It and Nail It Leadership is a blueprint, like we said, to optimal performance. So it's a blueprint because there's actually 38 components altogether.
Yeah.
But it's about it's what I call the play model of optimal performance, is about really mastering your productivity, living your life. So living your life truly fully. So forget about the work-life balance thing, because your life is more than just those two things. And Amuse is all about having fun, and the Y stands for changing to habits, yielding to habits. So really, you have to change the habit of being yourself.
Yeah.
Through that, you live a very full, rich, happy life, but still incredibly highly productive. So, what does it stand for? Do you want me to test you now, or shall I say it?
Um, Go for it. You're probably going to be able to put it across far better than I ever could.
Oh, you're going to stutter. So, Nail It, it's an acronym. It stands for mastering your needs, your attitude, your integrity, your limitlessness, your intuition, and then tangibility. And where most people go wrong is because they go straight into tangible groundwork that's actually necessary. Whereas when you follow the system and you follow the blueprint and you master the model, you will not only be able to achieve one goal, but you'll be able to work on and achieve multiple goals all at once and keep yourself inspiring, and continuing to go and produce, which is exactly, like I said, what we call optimal performance. And of course, we deliver it through speaking, through training, through coaching, through online programs, through workshops, but always trying to make it fun, engaging, and very much experiential. Because when you experience something, you learn and grow actually 90% more when you get to do it yourself. So that's what nailing it is.
Yeah.
Bav.
Yeah. It's something that I've started to adapt and put into my day-to-day life, and I've seen a major change and big shift over the last 2 years that I've known you now. I guess that I have been living the Nail It model, and I've seen a big change in my mindset. And I know you're going to ask me in a minute what my favorite, what bit resonates with me the most.
Yeah,
And
which pillar to you means the most?
well, I've been thinking about this, and they're all equally important. They're all equal at different points in your life as well. But for me, I think attitude is the most important part, most important pillar of the whole model. Purely because people's outlook on life really affects not only them but people around them as well. You know when you come into a room that someone has the right attitude or the right mindset. And as soon as you meet someone, within the first, 10, 15 seconds, you sort of gauge someone, don't you? You know whether you're going to click or not click.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say in that respect is
Mm,
about the people that you meet and other people's attitude.
mm,
So actually, the all of Nail It, like I said, is
yeah,
38 components, and so the attitude component is its system in itself. It's what we call
yeah,
the Sustainable Success Toolkit, and in that we have 4 keys. So when you see the graphics for Nail It, you'll see it's a big key ring with all of these keys. So that those 4 keys are actually self-talk.
yeah,
So that's the talk we give to ourselves, and actually most of the time, in fact, over 80% of the time, self-talk is negative, and
mm,
95% of that is actually repetitive. So
yeah,
you're constantly limiting yourself, constantly telling yourself you can't do something, or beating yourself up, or saying bad things about other people, in your opinion. So ultimately, it's everything that's going to drain your energy, right? So
mm,
conscious you become, the more you can shift into positive self-talk as well. So there's a whole big teaching around that. And then we have strength. So this is what makes me laugh, because people talk about resilience, particularly resilience in dentistry and in healthcare. And I say resilience is just a fraction. It's like one of 38 components. And even it's less than that, because in the strength key, we're talking about determination, grit, as well as resilience. So
mm,
how can you keep your eye on the ball? How can you keep focusing forwards? How can you
mm,
come back from setbacks? How can you thrive despite failure? Where can you find your inner strength? How can you find those inner drivers to keep focusing forward? The whole
yeah,
attitude bit is about maintaining focus.
yeah. And I think in dentistry, a lot of us have gone through that, right? It depends on the background you're coming from. Especially with myself, my own journey was, from quite a working class background. No public school education or state school. Obviously, working in, coming from an ethnic minority background, it was quite drilled into me from an early age that education was the most important thing. And so I didn't matter what else I did in life, is that as long as you went to school and you got good grades, then that's what it was all about. And that's where my grit and resilience, I think, comes from, is that that was drilled into me at a young age. And going through university and being in competition with these people that have had tutoring their whole lives and that have been every sort of opportunity has been given to them and been handed on a plate, and so it's been easy for them. Whereas for me, it's I've had to work to get to where I was, and I believe that is from my mindset and my attitude. That's what resonated with me in that part of the strength key of attitude.
Which
Also, just while we're on it, the self talk, again. I think I was listening to one of your videos about self talk, and it's you ask the question of who do you speak to the most, and most people are like, oh, it's my mum or my dad or my sister or my best friend or my dog even, but actually it's yourself. It's the thoughts you have in your head every single day, and everybody talks to themselves, right? And it's that the exact what really hit home was the conversations you have in your head is that's what you are a product of, right? That's what you ultimately are and become. And so if that is negative, can you imagine?
60 to 80,000 thoughts a day.
That's just madness, isn't it?
Mhm.
And so yeah, that's what I've really shifted and been more mindful of how I think about things to myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, so important. And then we have solutions. So
yeah,
solution is about problem solving. So all the leadership skills, right? Problem solving, decision making, and very much having a growth mindset as opposed to
mm,
a fixed mindset. So particularly say in dentistry as well, we really do, as scientists, we need to be as open-minded as possible, but we work with teams, and so not
mm.
everybody is like that. So how can you shift someone from a fixed to a growth mindset and bring people on your journey to become ever expanding, because you'll be a lot happier with a growth mindset. And
That also brings us to the mentoring, the growth mindset and having a mentor and surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded and that are going to bring you up. Again, you're a product of your 5 closest relationships. And so if
yes,
you surround yourself with negative people, then of course you're going to be brought down.
yeah, yeah. I will lose yourself
Mm,
of who you are at your core,
mm.
actually.
Mm.
when you're surrounded by negativity. Yeah. So one of the things I do is I'd set our listeners a challenge. I would dare you to have a 30-day fast. Fasting is very trendy nowadays, right? So we're
Right.
not talking food and drink,
No.
a negativity fast. See if you can do it. 30-day negativity fast. That means remove yourself from the news, from toxic social media, from toxic people, from people who gossip, from people who moan. If you're in a room and you can hear it, put your headphones on or leave the room and see how you feel 30 days later.
What? So no Love Island?
I don't watch Love Island.
Do you know what? I don't. I've not. I've not this year. I have not this year. I did. I did entertain the idea with the wife, and she quickly changed the channel, so she actually stopped me from watching it. It was a guilty pleasure one year, and it's so addictive, that stuff. But I know what you mean. On a serious note, yeah. Trying to avoid negative environment is really
Yeah,
important.
yeah, 100%. And then the last key in the sustainable success toolkit for attitude is smile. Perfectly did.
Again, one of the reasons why it's my favorite. That's what we do. That's how we roll.
Yeah,
It's all about smiling. It's all about
absolutely.
happiness. Sense.
Talking about optimism and pessimism, and did you know, Bav? Well, you do because you've done my training. But I think it's 25% genetic response is 25% of optimism or pessimism is actually genetic.
Right. So if your parents were grumpy sods, then you're likely to be as well.
Yeah, yeah, it could be, but there are ways, we teach you ways to deal with the pessimist so that it doesn't pull you down, and also how can you pull a pessimist up to kind of see that glass more than half full over time. So it's
There's,
about
there's
that joy and happiness piece and how we instill positivity in a healthy way, because too much
yeah,
positivity, of course, can be what we call toxic positivity. It can actually be detrimental.
yeah. I say, and what's your thoughts on fake it to make it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one of the tactics, right?
Yeah,
Which I know you're quoting
yeah,
from training.
yeah,
That is one of the tactics. Sometimes fake it till you make it.
yeah,
You can force it in yourself, and that combines all the self-talk and everything else that you
yeah,
do in order to then boost your mood. There are things that we talk about like jumping up and down, dancing, gratitude,
yeah,
all those things. You might not feel like doing it, but once you do it, which is kind of faking it to start with, you will then make it. So all kinds of
yeah,
things. And like you said, having a coach, having a mentor, all of that stuff
yeah.
helps to master the A of nail it.
There's all these little hacks, aren't there, that you can do before you have something that you're nervous about or want to go in. Like, for example, the typical example would be before an interview. You look at yourself in the mirror, make yourself bigger. Or listen to your favorite music to
Yeah.
get you in the mode, get you that energy up.
Yeah, yeah. And self-talk out loud for something like that as well.
Yeah,
Huge, tremendous benefits to once you say something in your head quietly is actually it's much stronger when you verbalize it and you say it out loud, and
yeah,
then when you write it down starts to embed it into your subconscious. So mountain of hacks, which of course we
yeah.
teach and train people, don't we? Do you want to know what my favorite key is?
Go on then.
Do, do, do.
What's yours? Go on then.
So, I mean, obviously, I created Nail It Leadership, right? So I love it all, and
Yeah.
it's all very relevant. But I love the integrity.
Okay. That's the third one.
The third one,
Yeah.
so it makes up.
There's two eyes, aren't there?
There's two I, one for intuition, which is powerful decision making, and one for integrity, which is about standing out from the crowd. And that system is called the valuable being blueprint. And it just encompasses who you are. So we're back to that first question I asked you when we started this conversation. And who are you at your core? So it encompasses your values, your authenticity, your leadership. So understanding who you are, what you want, and how to get it. Your understanding versus judgment, which otherwise would drain you. Your ambition, making sure that it's healthy so that you don't burn out. So recognizing that, but having enough of a driver to be ambitious. Your behavior, so again becoming conscious of your behavior. Your legacy, that's living your legacy, so your purpose and excitement, which is about kind of creating excitement and passion in everything you do. And I think if you can master all of that, it's a massive, massive inroad to understanding who you are and resonating from the inside out, really shining through. And when you understand what your values are, you'll understand your triggers. You'll understand why you get stressed. You'll understand why you might get anxious. You'll understand why people might annoy you. You'll recognize which buttons are being pushed. You'll start to surround yourself by people who align with you. You'll start to be comfortable and much more successful in being your natural self, so that everything flows and nothing drains you. This is all about stopping things draining you,
Yeah.
so that we stop sucking up the energy, and then we can allow that energy to regenerate in itself.
You know,
So
that was one of the first things that I learned on the first day that we did our course, was why you get upset with people and why you get angry. And I was like, I don't know, you have all these sorts of things that, oh, you assume you get angry because you're in a bad mood or whatever it was. But when you said it, it made so much sense, is that they are triggering one of your values.
yeah.
And until you understand what your values are, you don't know how you then can control that. So it's a great exercise to do, is the values exercise, I think.
Yeah. And always, when you have a conversation with someone, if you think about something that actually annoys you about that person, it's usually because it's triggering something inside of you. It's actually probably something that is in you, but you're not going to complain about yourself, but it's something that's in you.
Yeah.
So whenever I have a conversation with somebody, if I notice I've been triggered or I've got a sense of unease, I always reflect it back to myself of, what is this trying to teach me?
Mm,
Why am I triggered? Not why has this person triggered me?
yeah.
Why am I triggered? And what is it I need to know about myself and work on myself? And it's ever evolving, right? You never arrive. If you arrive, you might
Yeah.
as well end up in the coffin.
That's so important. I think that encompasses everything that we're about, right? It's working on yourself first and foremost before trying to influence others. So it's understanding yourself.
Yeah, yeah, which then makes you this optimal performer, which then makes you more successful, which then makes you earn more money, but
Yeah.
also be healthier and happier and have more fulfilled, enriching relationships, and work in a team more successfully and run a practice more successfully, and be contented and have a legacy and have a vision and
Yeah.
all of those things. So I think that's the difference with Nail It Leadership, as opposed to, we teach you all the hard skills of leadership, productivity, time management, communication, problem solving, strategic thinking, but we also do all the soft skills, which are actually far more powerful and far harder to teach and train. Your emotional intelligence, your integrity, your authenticity, your intuition, all of those things are massive, massive leadership skills, which when you master, so you work on yourself, you then create
Yeah.
the reality that you dream about.
You can literally have your cake and eat it.
Absolutely. So, Bab, in
Yeah.
these coming episodes, when we have our amazing guests,
Mm.
we are asking them for their favorite quote.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep.
So I'm just curious, do you have a favorite quote?
I do. I have a few. I have a few, but one I literally saw today. It was on the side of a van, and which I thought was a strange place for it to be, but I thought it was really apt, because on the side of a van, when people read that, it's the place where you need this the most. And it said, if you can be anything in life, be kind. And it's so powerful, because that really resonates with me, is because I think kindness is the biggest quality I look for in people that I align with, and that I find that how people make you feel is, kindness is free. It doesn't cost anything, and it's such an easy thing to do, and it's so non-judgmental, because you don't know where that person's coming from. So in my day-to-day life, when I see patients, we all have these patients that come in. They feel like they're draining your energy. They come in very angry. They're anxious, and you always feel as if, what is wrong with that person? Why are they like that? But I try not to judge and just be kind, and try and kill them with kindness. And usually that usually does get grinds them down, and it breaks a lot of barriers, and you quickly find out what the actual problem is, and then you can solve it.
Yeah, barrier, a barrier that gets lifted. But
Yeah.
how about this? If I play devil's advocate, and interestingly, I had this conversation with my son today because, like I said, I was asking for these 3 words. I was doing my own authenticity
Yeah.
exercise, um, and he said, "Oh, kindness is just kind. Everyone calls themselves kind. It's just a
Yeah.
word that's bandied about so much. There must be more interesting words than that." What would you say to that, Bev?
I actually think kind is a really nice word, because it's a
But everyone
feeling.
uses the word nice as well,
No,
Bev.
but it's a feeling, isn't it? Kindness is a feeling, and I really like word, and I don't think it is overused. I really don't think it is. I think, and it's, I mean, my kids are taught it in school, from a very young age. Kindness and people that fill buckets. So they have this concept of a bucket and a bucket filler and a bucket emptier or taker. And have you heard of this concept?
No, but I
So
can imagine it. Yeah.
yeah, so the analogy is there's a bucket, and every nice thing or nice interaction you have with people, you're filling someone's bucket up, and something that you say that's negative or bad, you're taking out of their bucket. And they always say, be a bucket filler.
I like that.
So yeah, I think that go hand in hand with kindness. So yeah,
Yeah.
I still like the word.
Yeah. I mean, no, it is a beautiful word, the actual meaning of it. I
Yeah,
know a few big best-selling authors that also hold kindness summits, for example, bringing it into your awareness and actually consciously being a kind person. And of
yeah,
course, in the healthcare industry,
yeah,
we hope we actually naturally are. It's just sometimes stuff gets in the way
yeah.
that can stop us doing that. But it's not just kind to others, is it? It's kind to yourself.
Exactly that. Go on then. What's your favorite quote?
Mm. Okay, so I got a little bit philosophical here, and
Yeah.
this is by Rabindranath Tagore, and it says, "When you were born, you cried, while the world rejoiced. Live your life, so that when you die, the world cries, while you rejoice."
Wow. What does that mean?
Oh, let's break that
What did that?
down.
Yeah, let's break that down. I understand the rejoicing part when you come in crying. I understand that obviously
Okay,
because it's
right.
a
You're born, right? So you're
yeah,
born as a baby, and the first
yeah,
thing you do is you cry, and the world rejoices. It celebrates your
yeah,
birth, right?
exactly.
But this is about how you live your life and the legacy that you leave behind. So live your life with purpose, with legacy. So leaving a legacy. Although I always encourage you to live your legacy, not just what you leave behind. So leave an impact in this world.
Mm,
For me, that's my purpose, impact, right? That's
yeah,
what I do. So live your life so that when you die, so
mm,
create so much impact in your life, touch people enough
yeah,
so that when you do die, the world cries, right? They're all upset that you have died because of
yeah,
the impact that you've had on them,
yeah.
the stuff they remember you for, because
Okay,
the person
right. It makes
or
sense now.
for a wider dynamic, while you rejoice.
Yeah,
When you die, you will rejoice because you will be so joyful that
yeah.
you have actually lived such a full life and being able to fulfill your purpose.
That's really nice.
Like that. Shall I say it
That is
again
really.
to make it all poetic?
Go on then. Go on then.
Okay, so it's by Rabindranath Tagore. So when you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice.
Right, I'm gonna have to think of a better one now, then, aren't I? Right. You just blown that. You
Time
just
for one
you
of
just
our
hit that out
guests.
of the park. That one. I was just going on about being kind.
I think that they're both parts of
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
Legacy and kindness. It's
yeah,
about understanding your qualities. It's one of your values, right? So
yeah,
it's all about
yeah.
recognizing and understanding yourself as best as possible.
Can I also just take this opportunity to be kind and say congratulations on making Dentistry Top 50?
Oh,
That's
thank
just
you. Woohoo. Impact, right?
yeah,
Impact to impact.
yeah, that is your impact. There you go, and I'm so happy for you because I know all the work you put in the background. I know how much you put into this, into a whole Nail It model, onto MedDent, onto the coaching, mentor, and education diplomas, on all the things you do. You put 100% in, and I'm glad you got the recognition, and I'm glad that you have made it to the Dentistry Top 50 this year. And
Woohoo. Thank you. Yeah, it was an interesting moment when I got the email because I was gonna had to have a double take. And I was huge in dentistry sort of 15 years ago, right? I mean, I was on the cover of all the magazines and interviewed by all of them because I was this hotshot periodontist using lasers and at the forefront of the cutting edge. And then, of
Yeah.
course, I became a global pioneer, and all my research papers and all the stuff I've done with Harvard and the UK and all of this stuff. But then I was just went back into myself kind of quite quietly. But my purpose has always been, like I said, impact. So that was my impact. And teaching my perio courses was all about my impact. It was all about, then let me make not only my patients' lives better, but even more patients' lives better by training dentists to make their lives better. And then, of course, I've focused much more on the other side. So it's almost like I've kind of come full circle and then come back into the limelight of all of the dentistry, social
Yeah.
media, magazines and stuff again, um, with huge pride, actually, just that. And I shared this on the award night because they said, "Oh, who would you name as you being a top 50? Who would you say should be in the top 50?" So other than your good self, Bev,
Of course, one day.
I actually said, actually, the team at dentistry, named a few names like Guy Hiscott, who's the content director for all of FMC, for example, Siobhan, who's one of the main editors, because I just said, because without them,
Mm,
they're the ones who create this platform,
yeah.
and the people at Dentistry Magazine and the people at the Probe, they create this platform for us as leaders to be able to get our message out there. So without them,
Yeah.
it's so much harder.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Cool.
Dentistry, for naming me top 50. I'm truly honored, and I'm thrilled that, yeah, like I said, the hard work has been recognized. All the stuff I did with Breathe
Yeah.
Dental as well, this whole well-being platform for the dental profession. But at the same time, it's it feels like just the beginning, the chance to make an even greater impact. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Well, this is just the beginning, and that's the reason why we're doing this podcast. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this series. We've got some great speakers lined up, and I think we're going to have we're going to have a good laugh, but there's going to be serious parts of it, and there's going to be little takeaways that everyone can literally from at the end of the podcast, you can start to implement that into your daily working and personal lives as well.
100%. Yeah, exactly. So whatever your profession, whatever you do, however hard you work, whatever it is you want, there will be
Yeah.
tips left, right, and center
This
from.
is for the whole team, not just for dentists. It's for the whole team, whole healthcare profession. And yeah, I'm really excited.
Me too. Me too. All right. So on that note, I think we've nailed it enough tonight.
That's enough for one night.
It's enough for one night. So thank you for joining us. We look forward to you touching base with our first guest, who is Ash Palmer, a legend in himself, definitely a pioneer in the field of cosmetic dentistry, and he's got a wonderful, wonderful message to share with our guests. So tune in to that. But for now, have a fantastic week, and wishing you well.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Nail It podcast. We would love it if you would leave us a 5-star review. And if you'd like to feature as one of our guests, or you're ready to nail it, then check out our events, programs, and educational courses by visiting nailitindentistry.com.